A basketball rivalry, simmering for years, erupted on the WNBA stage, culminating in a night that will forever be remembered. For half a decade, the names Caitlin Clark and Paige Bueckers have dominated discussions. Two high school sensations who chose divergent paths, Clark to Iowa, Bueckers to UConn. Their college showdowns were legendary, with Clark frequently prevailing, especially in the intense NCAA tournament spotlight. Yet, as Clark transitioned to the WNBA, skepticism persisted, fueled by prominent critics like coaching legend Geno Auriemma, who openly questioned her readiness for the professional game. But then, the moment arrived. Their inaugural professional clash as the Indiana Fever hosted the Dallas Wings. This wasn't merely a game. It transformed into a monumental event where Caitlin Clark accomplished a statistical feat previously unseen, not just once, but twice, leaving Paige Bueckers and her team utterly dismantled and humiliated. Prepare to delve into the astonishing narrative of shattered records and a new, dominant chapter in this epic rivalry. The indelible moment arrived. As Clark commanded the court, she wasn't simply securing a victory. She was meticulously crafting a stat line that had only been achieved one other time in WNBA history. She demonstrated comprehensive mastery, scoring with efficiency, executing flawless setups for her teammates, and then a remarkable shift occurred on the defensive end. Her numbers steadily climbed throughout the contest. Clark concluded with 14 points, a testament to her effective scoring without forced attempts. She distributed 13 assists, emphatically proving her capacity to elevate every player around her. Then, the defensive plays began to materialize. Clark seemed to possess a telepathic ability, reading passing lanes and anticipating the Wings' next move before they even considered it. The precise instant history was made came when Clark secured her 5th steal of the game. This completed an astonishing stat line: 14 points, 13 assists, and 5 steals. This achievement solidified Caitlin Clark's status as the sole player in WNBA history to reach this specific combination twice in her career. She now stands uniquely alone, the only individual in the league's annals to post such a stat line in 2 separate games. Clark's defensive influence extended far beyond those 5 steals. She executed a crucial block that instantly transitioned into a fast break assist for Sophie Cunningham. This sequence underscored her exceptional court awareness and her knack for generating scoring opportunities directly from defensive actions. She relentlessly disrupted the Wings' offensive rhythm with her keen anticipation skills. Every possession felt precarious for Dallas when Clark was engaged defensively. Paige Bueckers and the Dallas Wings found themselves completely outmaneuvered and overwhelmed by Clark's all-around performance, resulting in a truly mortifying outcome. Perhaps the most telling statistic was Aurique Unali, considered one of the Wings' top players, enduring a shocking 0 for 10 shooting night and finishing with a mere 2 points. Clark's defensive pressure, combined with the Fever's suffocating team defense, rendered Unali utterly ineffective. This dismal showing from a key opposing player underscored the Fever's absolute command and the Wings' undeniable helplessness. The Wings' strategy of attempting to be overly physical with Clark backfired spectacularly. Their tactics, involving off-ball grabbing and neglecting screen switches, proved entirely futile as Clark expertly leveraged their aggression to locate open teammates and drive to the basket. Each time they sought to physically impede her, she found a way to make them pay. The final score of 102-83 wasn't just a win. It delivered a stark message. Clark had silenced every detractor and answered all questions regarding her WNBA readiness, leaving the Wings thoroughly humiliated on their home court and decisively dismantling any claims of their superior play. This was more than just a strong performance. It was a powerful declaration that she undeniably belongs among the league's elite. This monumental victory wasn't merely a coincidence. It represented the culmination of a significant tactical shift that completely dominated and embarrassed the Dallas Wings. The highly anticipated matchup against Dallas served as the ultimate litmus test. Would Coach White finally unleash Clark's preferred style, allowing the team to play at the blistering pace Clark believed was optimal, Or would the fundamental philosophical divide continue to hinder the team's immense potential, inadvertently offering the Wings an opportunity to avoid a crushing defeat? This internal struggle set the perfect stage for the Bueckers confrontation, with Clark determined to prove her approach could thrive at the professional level, and in doing so, expose any lingering doubts from the opposition, including Paige Bueckers' squad. Then, a pivotal transformation occurred. Stephanie White finally granted Clark the autonomy she had been seeking. Against Dallas, White made a critical, game-altering decision. She empowered Clark to dictate the tempo and orchestrate the offense precisely as she desired. This was no minor adjustment. White fundamentally altered her strategy, placing complete trust in Clark to guide the team at the high-octane pace she envisioned. In the initial stages of the game, it wasn't immediately apparent if this bold new approach would yield results. Both teams cautiously assessed each other during the first quarter. The Fever appeared competent, but not yet extraordinary. They gradually found their rhythm, with Clark diligently involving her teammates, but the true fireworks had yet to ignite. The Wings maintained pace, and the contest felt competitive. Then, the second quarter exploded, and everything seamlessly converged. Clark began pushing the pace with unprecedented intensity. She consistently found teammates with her signature full-court passes, affectionately dubbed touchdown passes by fans. The Fever amassed an astonishing 36 points in that single quarter, outscoring Dallas by a remarkable 21 points in just 10 minutes. This wasn't merely effective basketball. It was a dazzling display that left the Wings reeling, visibly humiliated, and utterly outclassed. Clark's teammates responded to her leadership with extraordinary performances. Kelsey Mitchell ignited, pouring in 20 points on 8 of 12 shooting, extending her double-digit scoring streak to an impressive 21 games. Mitchell connected from every angle, feeding off Clark's energy and the relentless pace. Natasha Howard glided across the court with gazelle-like grace, finishing with 18 points on an incredibly efficient 8 of 9 shooting, attacking the rim without hesitation. And Aaliyah Boston asserted her dominance inside, leveraging her size and strength to control the paint, converting every opportunity Clark created for her. The synergy between Clark and Boston was impeccable. Clark would draw defenders with her speed, then find Boston for effortless baskets, showcasing an almost telepathic connection. This performance was truly exceptional. The Fever established a franchise record by scoring 64 points in the first half, displaying the most fluid, uninhibited basketball they had exhibited all season. This achievement surpassed their previous record of 63 points, set back in 2016. Furthermore, those 64 points represented the highest scoring half by any WNBA team during the 2025 season. The Fever's 30 assists matched a franchise record, with a remarkable 13 of those coming directly from Clark, unequivocally proving her ability to elevate everyone around her when granted offensive freedom. Clark wasn't just scoring, she was making her teammates superior, orchestrating incredible ball movement where every pass served a purpose and every possession felt threatening. Sophie Cunningham provided an ideal boost off the bench, adding another scoring threat that Dallas simply couldn't contain, contributing 13 points and even reaching 1,500 career points with a driving layup. The second quarter's 36-point outburst tied for the third most points scored in a single quarter in Fever franchise history, with the team shooting a scorching 76.2% from the field during this period. They embarked on a suffocating 33-9 run that spanned nearly 8 minutes. The Wings had absolutely no answers for this relentless pace and energy, and their palpable frustration indicated they were being systematically trashed. The game quickly devolved into a complete rout, as the Wings simply could not match Indiana's intensity. Dallas appeared fatigued and disoriented, unable to keep pace with the Fever's transition game. Clark's vision for fast-paced basketball was proving remarkably effective at the professional level. This was more than just a victory. It was irrefutable evidence that Clark's unbridled, fast break style could dominate at the professional level, leaving the Dallas Wings utterly exposed and thoroughly embarrassed by the Indiana Fever's relentless assault. White had finally unleashed the force, and the outcomes were nothing short of historic. Before this pivotal turning point that led to the Wings' public humiliation, a philosophical conflict had been brewing, generating considerable tension within the Fever organization. It was Caitlin Clark's dynamic, high-octane vision directly clashing with coach Stephanie White's more measured, half-court approach. Clark thrived on transition basketball, perceiving the court with strategic foresight, constantly seeking fast break opportunities and rapid scores. White, conversely, favored a deliberate, slower tempo, emphasizing structured offensive plays. This fundamental divergence in basketball philosophy wasn't merely theoretical, it manifested as palpable friction. The precise moment this internal discord became public occurred during a heated sideline exchange between Clark and White during a game against the Atlanta Dream. Cameras captured every word of their intense discussion, the visible passion and disagreement revealing the profound nature of their conflict. Reports even hinted at deeper issues going on within the locker room, the front office. Compounding the chaos were persistent lineup inconsistencies. Clark was returning from an injury, striving to regain her rhythm. Darius Dentis had rejoined the team after national team duties. These continuous personnel changes completely fractured their chemistry, making it impossible for the team to establish consistent rotations or offensive flow. Players were still trying to define their roles as key pieces frequently entered and exited the lineup. The offensive struggles plaguing the Fever were agonizing to witness. Shots clanked off the rim game after game, turnovers extinguished promising possessions, and the fast break dynamism Clark typically embodied was conspicuously absent. As Clark herself conceded, the team was trapped in a frustrating cycle. One good game, and then we play a bad game. Then we play a good game. Then we play a bad game. Her shooting woes became a significant concern during this period, but her resolute spirit remained. I know those are shots that I can make, and I'm never going to stop shooting. The breaking point arrived when the Fever finally snapped their losing streak against Atlanta, securing a much-needed win. However, the underlying tensions between Clark and White persisted. The philosophical divide had not been resolved. It was merely deferred, awaiting the next eruption, a tension that would soon be unleashed with devastating, humiliating consequences for the Dallas Wings. This internal conflict was exacerbated by the team's dire circumstances, making their eventual dominance over the Wings all the more impactful and utterly mortifying for the Dallas squad. Clark's Indiana Fever were in a severe slump, reeling from a brutal losing streak just before this momentous showdown with the Wings. The team had recently endured embarrassing losses, not to league powerhouses, but to teams they unequivocally should have defeated, such as the LA Sparks and the Golden State Valkyries. These were not just defeats, they were bewildering performances that left fans utterly perplexed. The Fever, a team burdened by immense hype, appeared completely adrift. Clark herself acknowledged the challenging period, admitting to a shooting slump. Yet, her confidence never wavered. "I'm never going to stop shooting," she firmly stated, even drawing parallels between her situation and Steph Curry's occasional cold streaks. She remained convinced that she was generating quality looks, making the misses all the more exasperating. Despite her personal conviction, the team's struggles were undeniable, and a heavy atmosphere of unresolved issues permeated the Fever's locker room. Unbeknownst to the Dallas Wings, this struggling Fever team was on the brink of unleashing a performance that would not only secure a decisive victory, but thoroughly embarrass them on their own court. The immense pressure on Clark, fueled by widespread skepticism regarding her professional readiness, meant this game would serve as the definitive answer, much to the dismay of her doubters, including, by extension, Paige Bueckers' team, who were about to experience the full force of her response. Even with her collegiate dominance, questions followed Clark into her WNBA career. Legendary UConn coach Geno Auriemma himself voiced specific, pointed criticisms of Clark's game. He openly challenged her shot selection and expressed strong doubts about her WNBA readiness, frequently contrasting it unfavorably with his own star, Paige Bueckers. Auriemma firmly believed that Bueckers' fundamental approach would translate far more effectively to the professional level. Clark's explosive, high-risk scoring and Bueckers' smooth, efficient style truly embodied two distinct philosophies of basketball, or excellence. The murmurs within the league were harsh, with some veterans predicting a rude awakening for the young star. The anticipation for their first WNBA showdown was enormous, with ABC securing the national broadcast, recognizing that this matchup would captivate viewers nationwide. Clark, still navigating her initial WNBA difficulties with the Fever, faced immense scrutiny, making this game not only vital for her team, but crucial for her burgeoning reputation, and for the standing of those who championed a different style of play. A conviction that would soon be trashed by Clark's undeniable performance. This intense WNBA debut was merely the latest chapter in a rivalry that had begun years prior, a history that would render the Dallas Wings' recent humiliation all the more striking. Imagine this: two adolescent basketball phenoms, seemingly destined for years of clashes, generating an excitement across America long before they ever stepped onto a professional court. Caitlin Clark and Paige Bueckers first met in high school, both highly recruited talents, yet possessing entirely distinct playing styles and contrasting personalities. Clark burst onto the scene with her explosive scoring, pinpoint passing, and an extraordinary ability to sink deep three-pointers from anywhere. Bueckers, conversely, exhibited smooth efficiency, a graceful mid-range shot, and court vision that genuinely rivaled Clark's. Their college trajectories diverged dramatically, setting the stage for legendary confrontations. Bueckers opted for the illustrious UConn program, joining a dynasty under coach Geno Auriemma, a team boasting multiple championships. Clark, however, chose Iowa, a program eager to prove its mettle on the grandest stage. This decision ignited what would become defining NCAA tournament battles for both their legacies. Clark's Iowa team famously shattered Bueckers' UConn dreams in March Madness, with Clark delivering monstrous performances when it mattered most. This included an astonishing 41-point masterpiece that sent the Huskies home early. She consistently outplayed Bueckers head-to-head, securing victories in 2 of their 3 intense college matchups. This transcended mere basketball. It became a cultural phenomenon. Analysts and fans passionately aligned themselves, fueling an almost mythical rivalry that extended beyond college basketball. Many commentators asserted, "Oh, everything is she was Caitlin. Before Caitlin, she's better than Caitlin." But that narrative swiftly faded as Clark's college statistics began to tell an undeniable story, foreshadowing the dominance that would ultimately trash and thoroughly embarrass her longtime rival's professional team. This historic performance unequivocally demonstrated that Caitlin Clark wasn't simply adapting to the WNBA, she was actively redefining what was achievable at the professional level, leaving the Dallas Wings and any lingering doubts about her game utterly vanquished and effectively trashing their reputation. The enduring rivalry with Paige Bueckers had reached a dramatic new chapter, with Clark authoring the opening pages in utterly dominant fashion. This decisive victory over Bueckers and the Wings unmistakably revealed the Indiana Fever's true potential when Clark is finally unleashed to play her signature style of fast-paced, uninhibited basketball. Franchise records crumbled, individual achievements accumulated, and most importantly, the team chemistry finally coalesced when Coach White genuinely placed her trust in Clark's vision. The Dallas Wings, and by extension, Paige Bueckers, were left with little recourse after such a resounding and humiliating defeat at the hands of the Indiana Fever, a true trashing that will resonate for seasons to come. With the latter half of the 2025 season approaching, and this captivating rivalry just commencing its professional chapter, basketball fans have every reason to be incredibly excited for what lies ahead. The Fever face challenging road games against Connecticut and New York, but with Clark now fully unleashed, anything seems within reach.